We're rolling, baby.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey.
Ah. Hell
Let's
yeah.
go, baby.
Welcome to Behind the Build. So
Beyond the build.
Sorry. Beyond. I thought it was beyond
We forgot the name already.
already.
God damn it.
I thought it was behind.
No, beyond.
Is it Beyond the Build?
Yes,
Okay.
it's beyond.
We're going to have to check that. Welcome to Beyond the Build. And duh is DA build. So Beyond DA build. And that correlates with our construction company, DA Seui Construction. So we thought that we would make a podcast and just base it around, because obviously we build physical structures that a lot of people see, and everyone is always amazed and like, wow, that's what you guys do. However, we wanted to do this podcast to show and to just talk with people on who actually built the building that people see us do, because it's not all just us. Matter of fact, it's 90% all our trades, all our teams, our vendors, everyone that's involved, third-party guys.
Clients, our owners.
Exactly.
Everyone.
Exactly. And we want to touch base and share those people's stories, experiences, how the build even came about, even just the thought of it, and then how we delivered and built that structure. So, I mean, that's kind of what Beyond the Build is.
Yeah, and just a little background on our company name. So our legal entity name is DA Seui Construction. And people don't know, but the DA stands for Devin Annie. And our logo is actually a D and an A.
Yeah,
So
there it is right there.
you look behind.
Yep.
So Beyond the Build is Beyond DA Build, right?
Build.
So it's really beyond the build, but also beyond us, beyond Devin Annie. There's so many people involved, and the who is way cooler than the what in this case. Like, yes, especially bricks, we get to build really cool buildings, really cool structures, that bring people together, and those people are what makes it cool. And Brett says the same thing, with bricks, and that's with anything that we do too. It's the people, who we impact, who we get to work with. We're passionate about it, so we wanted to start a little cast on it.
So follow along our journey. And we're still trying to put this thing together. We literally 5 minutes before we started this thing, we came up with the name.
Hey, we love it.
Hey, that is the
That's
whole.
why there's two of us.
Well, and that right there is us to a T.
True.
Like, we just put things together on the fly. So follow along on our journey and to learn more about people and the who.
Beyond
We'll
the
cut
build.
it right there.
Boom.
But now, since we got this thing going, everyone always, at least for our company, they all know Devin and my story and how we started Seui Construction. But I wanted to take this time to interview none other than my beautiful wife. Who is Annie, right? Because Devin is just the dummy in the front, but who's really handling the business itself? And so I have here my beautiful co-founding partner of DA Seui Construction and my beautiful wife. And we're going to interview her today and ask her some questions so that we can know who Annie Seui is, right? And so, yes, there's the obvious that you are co-founder of the company, but I want to go beyond that and really just see, you grew up in a big family, so born and raised here in Utah. Where and what was it like growing up in Utah?
Yeah, so a little bit, I guess, about me is I am in a blended family. So I didn't grow up in a very traditional, in the sense, family. There's 10 kids total. I'm number 5.
Damn.
So I'm smack dab in the middle. So I've got 4 older, 4 younger, and then I have like kind of an adopted brother, cousin situation. But yeah, so I kind of got the best of both worlds. When my older siblings moved out, I was the oldest growing up when they were in the house. I was the youngest for a little bit, you know, so I kind of got to play a lot of roles within my family, which has transitioned directly into our business, right? But at the same time, like, I was able to be very independent because there were so many kids, right? Like, I had to learn at a young age, like, if I want to do something, I got to figure it out and kind of push to do it, right? Like, my parents were very supportive of me. They helped me in whatever I wanted to do. But if I, really wanted to be good at a sport, be good in academics or whatever it was, like, I had to kind of build that personal drive. And so I've loved learning from the day I think I was born. I don't know. But seriously, I love to learn. I say I'm a lifelong learner, especially in our industry now. I'm constantly trying to learn more, learn more about the softwares that are available to us, industry standards, things like that. So yeah, just lifelong learner. I'm a team player, love being around people. I'm very much a people person. I feel like, it's different phases of your life where you get to be more like extroverted versus introverted for me personally. And I feel like becoming a mom recently is like kind of tested me in the ways where I'm like, most of my days I'm talking to a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, you know? And so like now when I go into rooms with adults, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, adult interaction, right? Like, just with being part of the business, also being a mom. But like, anyways, I still love that human interaction, human at the core. I went to BYU, majored in experience design and management. Rewind. I went to Highland, Highland High School.
Well, tell me about like just growing up though with all.
Sorry, I'm like all over the place right now.
No, it's all right. Trust me, your life is very interesting and amazing, and where you're at, like, and I want the world to know, about you and how amazing you are. But like where it starts from, you said, there's 10 of you. Where in the 10 are you? And
I'm number 5.
And you're number 5, right? And so do you feel like being number 5 versus the oldest or the youngest has played an impact on who you are today, or has built attributes and, characteristics that you have today because of being the middle child?
Yeah,
do you think?
For sure. I mean, so I'm number 5, but if you look at my family, the way that it's blended, I'm the oldest of my parents' marriage. So my dad was married previously, had 4 kids, married my mom, and had 5 kids. I'm the oldest of the next 5. So, but that's never how I grew up. I grew up as we're all one family.
Yep.
So really I am number 5, in my family, but I've gotten the opportunity to be the youngest, when I was first living with my 4 older siblings. And then as my parents had more kids, I got to be the oldest, step into that role. And yeah, I feel like, being the middle child, like I said, you kind of have to just take lead on what you want to do in your life. And I think that goes for just a big family. Like, you kind of have to drive what you want to do. I also just kind of had to grow up at a younger age, helping take care of my siblings. I was in the room when my younger sister was born. I cut her umbilical cord. Like, that was at 13 years old, So like, again, I just have a special relationship with my parents. Just being kind of the oldest of that. There's that set of kids, I guess. But also I just have gotten to play almost like a sub-parent role to my siblings, which is
and now
I've loved too.
Like, and now it's very, clear that you are that, other parent, other support system for your younger siblings, because you did do that at a young age, right? You've helped, raise your younger siblings and help them in school, help them be just a listening ear, because I see it now, the relationships that you have with your younger siblings and your older siblings too, so I think that definitely played a role on just who you are as a person. I think, like I've told you, countless times before, is that you are the peacemaker in your house, which is what I was too. And that's exactly why when I met you, I was like, that's my wife right there, and
that an Asian buffet.
That an Asian buffet. Yeah, don't tell them about that story. They don't need to hear that story.
Oh, that's iconic.
No, but what? So then you guys lived in Saratoga Springs.
Yep.
Right? Saratoga Springs, but you lived in Saratoga Springs when it was There was no law.
It
then.
was the boonies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was the
there was
boonies.
Arctic Circle and Smith's and my house.
I wish I lived in a place like that. I bet that was fun.
It was fun.
So
I mean, we were.
Like, what was the fun things that you guys did since, like, it was the boonies? Like,
Yeah. So, I mean, we were right on Utah Lake before it was kind of crusty.
Did you go in it?
Yeah, we had a boat. We would go boating.
Was the water, like, bad, like how it is now? Or like,
No, that's what I mean. Like, before, I think it's like the algae or whatever is in it
Yeah.
now. Like, it's kind of ruined it. But no, it was so fun. The mosquitoes were bad. They've always been bad. But like, honestly, grew up on the lake, boating. There wasn't really surfing back then. It was more just the wakeboarding, skiing, tubing, doing all that. That's like, I'm manifesting that for our future. Is I want a boat one day, and we're gonna have
that was gonna be one of my questions. Was like, what from your childhood was something that was a core memory for you?
Oh yeah,
and you were like, this is what we're gonna do when I have my family of my own.
We will be a boating family. It is on the vision board.
So
but also,
are you gonna pay for that? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sugar Mama.
I will.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
Let me develop. Let me do this development real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. We're already. That's like already in the bag.
That's
we're gonna
so
do
fun.
that. So yeah, grew up boating. We had like Vespas and like motocross bikes, whatever. And like literally, it was just like zooming around. Like we would cruise. We had a Raz.
Kids.
I think it was called a Raz scooter. I don't even know.
Like a Razor?
Well, we had a Razor, but then I think it was, I don't know, it was something like the Raz. It was like a zzz, like you sit on it, like a Vespa, but it wasn't a Vespa. It was like knockoff Vespa, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like super fun childhood though. Grew up going to like the hot springs, Saratoga hot springs. We had a pool over there that was like heated by that and everything. And yeah, just.
That's so crazy because like
fun.
now we work in construction and now we see what Saratoga Springs is.
Oh.
Saratoga, Eagle Mountain.
Well, people refer to Saratoga Springs and it's like a whole like.
Holy moly.
It's huge. It's this whole like city, and like back then it was like one housing, like it was a community, like a small community that was like Saratoga Springs, but now it's like all across the lake, like the border of Utah Lake. So
it's insane,
which is awesome though.
How much it's grown.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Saratoga that I knew when we moved here, from Hawaii is very different than what you saw it. I already saw it, populated.
Yeah.
And that's just what I knew Saratoga was.
Yeah.
But to even be there and think about what your childhood was like there, can't even think about it. It's like, you're telling me there was only a couple houses here?
Yeah.
There's hundreds and thousands of homes there.
Yeah.
And commercial places. I mean, Pioneer, was it on a Pony Express?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Pioneer Crossing. There was
Pioneer
no
Crossing,
Pioneer Crossing. You had to go over past Camp Williams to get onto the freeway. Like
that's crazy.
It was like, yeah. So but it was honestly so fun. Like I really enjoyed it. I think it felt really safe. Like we never locked our doors. Like it was kind of like you run around without your shoes on, go to the next door neighbor's house, ask if their kids can play, like that's really how it was.
Though,
and like me and my bestie riding our beach cruisers down the street, like, but yeah, I lived there till I was 10. And then that's when we moved up to Salt Lake. So.
Oh, nice. Sugar House over here.
We actually moved to Mill Creek when my grandpa passed away.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, we moved there. We lived there for like 2 or 3 years. And then from then we moved over to Sugar House, where my parents are still at.
Yep.
That's where I met you.
Yep. Yeah, then you went to Highland.
High school sweetheart.
Graduated from Highland. And
yeah.
Then what else? What happened after you went to BYU? Tell us about an experience from transitioning from Highland to going to college and BYU and your experience there.
Yeah, so
did anybody else go to college? Your dad went to college.
Yeah, so I was the first. I mean, some of my older siblings had gone to community college and they had started it and gotten associates. I think my other sister went to trade school, so they still very successful, but I was the first to go to like 4-year kind of traditional university, right? So yeah, I went to BYU and that transition was, I mean, again, I was very into school. I loved academics. I loved learning. I was a hard worker. I took AP classes, whatever. And going from Highland High School to BYU was like night and day. Like I was like, holy cow. I thought I was smart. I thought I knew how to learn, like this is a rude awakening of like, you actually got to learn a lot,
right?
you know, and like, know, you know, like, again, loved my education, but like the level, and also, yeah, I think Highland's curriculum and things like, there's some schools that are better than others, right? And
Right.
like, I
Better
think
programs,
Highland is
better.
a progressing school, but it definitely, I mean, when you go to college level, it's just a whole new
Right.
learning curve. And
What would you
so,
say though was like, what made you want to learn so much? Like, you think it's from like, is it just like your genes that make you just this desire to learn? Was it something that
yeah,
you had an experience with that's like, man, I'm just going to be the best learner ever, or it's so fun to me to learn and I would just want to keep learning? Like, where did that come from?
yeah, I mean, my earliest memory from like learning was when I went to Challenger as for like my pre-K and kindergarten. And Challenger, if you know, is like very much like, they are a strict, like kind of more like accelerated curriculum, even at that young of an age. But I like vividly remember like learning my days of the week, learning my colors and
Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week.
that was so off. We were so off. Yes, the Addams Family Days of the Week song. But no, and then I remember, so my full name is Annabelle, but I remember it would take me so long because I had to get my name just like right. And so I came home to my mom and I said, Mom, I'm going to go by Annie and not Annabelle because it takes me too long to write it on my paper and I get behind in my class because I'm trying to write this 9-letter name for just my first name. And then I also had to write minor, you know, my last name. So I said, no, Mom, I'm going to go by Annie. So that's kind of how I got my nickname, which most people know me by as Annie. But I feel like even from a young age, like there was just kind of this drive in me to like learn. I found like fun in it, you know, like it never seemed like a burden. It was always something that I was just like excited to do. And so even going to BYU, like I had a very different BYU experience. I think I wasn't super into like the extracurricular, like the sports and like stuff like that. And everyone's like, oh, college, you know, live it up. But like I also we got married after my freshman year. So I was like married and I was like determined that I was like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to learn as much as I can. And then I want to work to like provide for my family, like help provide for this life that we were building together.
Well,
right?
I want to touch base on that too, because I think a lot of this Utah bubble, you know, is why didn't you just get married, quit your job, start a family, and just have me carry, you know, and do what a man's supposed to do?
Provide.
Like, provide. Why did you, you know, want to keep pushing your, you know, your education, finish college, and then now you still work till today? You know, why don't you just want to stay home? Like, where did that, you know, come from?
Yeah.
Because again, that's the norm here, you know, especially in Utah, you know, or not just the United States, but it's heavier here, you know, in Utah. The woman stays home, watches the kids, you know, and, you know, that is a big part of the church too.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, true.
Why are you a rebel? Huh? Jeez.
I like living on the edge, I guess.
Yeah.
That's an inside joke. Yeah, so trying to think like of what my real reason is besides just like I know that makes me a better human being, you know, like my cup is more full when I am learning and progressing and building my own self through my career or through, you know, my networking with other people, you know, like, because I think a lot of that building and personal self-worth and learning, it comes from being a mom also, right? Yeah. But I know that for me personally, being part of our business, being involved in my career makes me a better mother and makes me show up better for myself and for my tiny babies, you know, and for my husband, truthfully, like, and I'm lucky enough to have support from our family to be able to do that. You know, I know that there's so many other circumstances for other people that don't allow them to, or, you know, even in today's world, in the economy, like it's hard to be able to stay home. So I kind of get to have the best of both with our business, you know, and that's really part of the reason why I quit my job, my corporate 9 to 5, you know, and went all in on our business, is because I said, I really want to be present for my kids' life more than just going to a 9 to 5, seeing them at night, you know, type thing. It's like, if I can get most of my time with my kids, work when they're asleep, taking their naps late at night, have a few days a week, you know, with the support of our family to be able to go in office, then like, I want to try and make this work. Like, let me go all in on this, right? But for me, it's just, I watched my mom, right? Like, she had 5 kids at a young age, and she liked being a mom, but she didn't like thrive in motherhood, you know, because it's hard. It's really hard, you know? And she always was reaching for these side gigs, you know, like she bred our dog, and she, you know, resold clothes on like eBay and things like that. And like, I could tell that she was wanting to pour into her cup, you know, have something to fulfill her, you know, in a way that also brought like our family more income and gave us more opportunities. And so she felt like she was also, you know, giving to our family, but also fulfilling her own, like her own desires, right? It wasn't just like taking care of us, you know, which I know that she did love, but I also know that she also wanted something else, right? And I think that's okay, you know, and I actually think that it makes you show up as a better mom. Like, and for some people, right? Like, some people are like amazing moms just doing, you know, stay at home mom. And like, some people, it's a little bit of both. Some people, it's, I want to go full-time work and my kids are going to go to a daycare, but that's fulfilling for me, and my kids are still taken care of, you know, like everyone's situation is so different. And I think that you find what works for you, and as long as your kids know that they're loved and they're taken care of, and that's all that matters, you know. And and same with you. If you're taken care of, your mental is good, you know, like you're able to balance all the things that you want to in your life. And you can't do it perfectly, but you do it the best way that you can, you know. And so that's kind of the balance that I've been finding. And trust me, I'm not perfect at it. Dev knows this. Like, I have mental breakdowns all the time because I'm like, man, I really want to be like a good mom. I know I'm trying my best, but like, I feel like I'm falling short here. Or like, man, the business, there's so much we want to do. We want to grow. We want to scale. We want to try this, you know. And it's like, how can I make sure that I'm giving everything I can, right? And it's like, that's where you just know your intention. You set your intention. You also have to be really good at time management, you know, like the time that you do have, you work hard, right? And that's something that you do, that I get to see on the daily, that like I'm also incorporating into my life, you know, is always working hard and always pushing and just doing life, right?
Yeah, well, I will say that you are very hard on yourself. You know, that's the perfectionist in you.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, just throughout our years of marriage, that I learned early on about you was that whatever you did, you had to be the best. And that's what I loved about you. It's because I'm the same way. You know, well, for me, it's the competitiveness, you know. Anything that I got myself into, I wanted to compete to be the best. You know, for you, it was anything that you got into is like, no, Annie just learns at a high level.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just going to be mid, I'm going to be great.
Right.
You know, and that's where we connected, and I was like, man, this girl's awesome, you know. And so that being said, that's where a lot of it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. But in order to perfect something, I feel like you have to laser focus on it. Mm-hmm. But that's not what life is.
Right.
You got all these different plates that you're balancing. You know, you have to find that balance. It's not just one plate that you can hold.
Right.
And honestly, that's where you fall into a lot of other problems. If you just laser focus on one thing. Okay, I need to be a good mom. I'm going to be the best mom ever. How do you feel though? How is you're on a fitness journey right now, you know, and you've been kicking ass on that thing. But if you focused on just your kids, you don't have, just like you said about your mom, how do you fill your own cup? But then if you focus just on filling your own cup, what is your kids doing?
Right.
Right? Or your spouse, or now you work in a business. What's your business doing? If you laser focus on the business, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's where I always tell you, you're too hard on yourself. And the reality of it all is like, you are killing it. Matter of fact, walk me through a day in the life of Annie today. Like, what does a day look like for you? Everything. Business. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You're a mom. You're on a fitness journey. Tell me what's a day in the life for Annie?
Yes. So we'll start with today. Like, we wake up early. We have 2 boys, as you know. You know those guys.
Those guys.
Yeah. So those
Cool
crazy
boys.
guys. I will sometimes, honestly, I go to Burn Boot Camp. Shout out to Burn. I have fallen in love with that over the last almost 6 months. Yeah. So yeah, about 5 months.
So you wake up, get the boys ready,
Yeah. Well,
go to Burn.
Yep. Go to Burn. And that's why I like Burn, is because they have a child watch, but they have a big, like, clear window, so I can actually see the boys at, like, any time in my workout. So
Yeah.
it's like 45 minutes. We go in. I get to see my kids if I want to, because that was a big thing for me. I was like, my kids have never been to daycare. I don't know what this is going to be like, But anyways, that's been a huge part of why I can go to the gym or do this, because sometimes I don't wake up at 5 a.m. to go before they wake up. So what do? I bring them with me because I can, right? Like, and that's part of my life. Like, honestly,
because I'm out. There's no one to watch the boys. You
Yep.
take them with you.
right. So wake up, work out, we come back. My boys eat 20 times a day, I swear. So before we leave, we have a snack. After we get home, we eat breakfast. And then usually, if it's a day that I'm working, we'll go to grandma's house. We do drop off. And then I come here to Bricks, or if we're on a job site, go to a job site. From there, I do most
But at
of.
what time are you finally out to work?
Oh man,
After you're doing all the
yeah,
getting them ready, going to work out, feeding them, dropping them off to grandma's
getting
house,
the diaper bag ready.
getting the diaper bag ready.
Yeah.
And then finally, when do you start your work day?
Like 10 a.m. if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
If I'm
Dang.
lucky, and that's also because I want to let the boys sleep.
Right,
I'm not
right.
waking them up at like 6 a.m. Like I let them sleep till about 7:30 is when they are getting up. But that's something that's on my work days. I do try to go earlier because we talked about this, but I'm just trying to get as much work time in as I can. But yeah, and that's life though.
Yeah.
Some days I'm there earlier, some days I'm not. That's the stage of life that I'm in, because the truth is my kids are number one, like that's what I'm always going to
Yep.
prioritize. So yeah. And then from there, work day, I do a lot of the back end on the business. I do the accounting. I do all the project financial
Project tracking
sheets. Yep. I do vendor relations. I do
Yep.
W-9s. I do, tax prep with our
subcontractor
CPA.
agreements,
Subcontractor
all
agreements.
legal documents.
Our actual construction contracts, legal documents, invoices, bills,
liens, waivers.
lien waivers. Yeah, all that. And then I also do some of our like marketing materials if we
Yep.
send them out to, developers or things like that. So yeah, just kind of ad hoc stuff. And then also strategy, like looking to the future, forecasting. Okay, what does this actually look like? What can we do to achieve our goals, not just talk about them? What softwares do we use? When do we want to implement?
So all of that, what time do you finish work?
Depends.
Yeah.
Again,
So say 5
never.
o'clock.
The answer is never
Right.
finish,
But
but
still, by
yeah.
the time you leave the office,
Yeah.
So it's 10 o'clock
Yep.
all the way till, say, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Usually
so
6
that's,
o'clock.
So that's 6 hours,
Yeah.
about. Am I doing math right? Or it's
8.
6 to 8 hours?
Yeah, 10 to 6.
Sometimes you come in at 12, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do all of that. How many days a week is that an everyday thing?
No. So that's 2 days a week that I
So
get
2 days
fully.
a week that you get those days to
Yeah.
work, at least
Yeah.
that 6 to 8 hour time slot to work and do
Yeah.
all what you just said. That's where, like, how do you balance all of that, like mentally, like personally? How do you, try to be most effective, or how do you try and balance with, okay, I know that there's so much to do,
Yeah.
How do you not be so hard on yourself most of the time?
Yeah.
Because there's so many things, that needs to be done.
Yep.
And like you said, am I being a good mom? Am I doing enough in the business,
Yeah.
Where, how do you tell me, just like, that's a crazy day. A lot of people don't see that.
Yeah.
Being a mom, being an entrepreneur, that shit ain't easy.
Right. It's not easy, and I'll never say that it's easy, but it's definitely worth it, Like, and honestly, some days win, some days I win and some days I don't, Some days I'm like, you know what, today was just a hard day, and I just need to go to sleep, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's a new day, But honestly, that's what I do is I take it day by day. I also try to break down, what I have to do. I do a lot of like checklists, to-dos, and I try and time block. I try and do things so it's like, okay, this first half of the day, I need to get these 10 things done, or at least started, right? Second half of the day, do this. And then it's also, I just think it's about constant forward motion. That's like
you always say that.
A quote that I live by. One of my professors in college said that as like part of like our group project. Like he's like, it doesn't matter where you're at in the phase of your project, whatever, just keep moving forward, stay in constant forward motion always. And that's like, there's like the idea of like an object in motion stays in motion, or like, and if you're idle, you're not going to do anything. You're not progressing in any direction if you're just staying where you're at. And so the only thing I'm thinking to myself is just keep moving forward. If I have a bad day with the boys, tomorrow's a new day. If I have a hard day at work, tomorrow's a new day. Keep moving forward. Because one day we're going to get there and we're going to be like, dang, every hard day got us to where we're at. Every good day got us to where we're at. But as long as we know that we're doing everything that we can, I'm doing everything that I can, I just got to keep pushing. And somehow it works out. Like we talk about that all the time. Like
we still here.
There's so many moments that we've had in our life. When we bought our first car, we were like, oh shoot, we got a $220 car payment. How are we going to afford this?
Remember our rent?
Yeah.
What was it, $750?
$750. We're like, oh my gosh. We had to put the deposit down. We're like, that's like half our money right now.
Yeah, it was
when we
first
got
month's
married.
last month's.
Yeah.
So it was about $1,500.
Yeah, and we were like, shoot, like I think we literally had like $3,000 to our name when we got married, like actually. And so it's like, that's like, but again, like to look at from then to like now, and you always remind me of this, like look at everything we've accomplished. Look at everything you've done, right? And that confidence that I have from that, which I'm trying to like rely on. That's what keeps pushing me forward. Because it's like, we've done all these things and we've done them together, honestly. Like I'm not a single parent, and like I have a partner who is there for me every day, and I rely on that a lot too. Like that support, that's everything to me.
He sounds cool.
Yeah, you should meet him sometime. Maybe I'll bring him for the podcast. Nah. He's the best. But yeah, like truthfully, having a partner in it all gets me through too. And my boys, my two little boys, I love those guys so much. They're crazy, but they keep me going too.
Well, I just want you to know that as a husband, as your partner, how lucky that I am to have a partner like you. Like people always tell me every time, like, dang, Annie's so cool. And they always ask me, what's your favorite part or what's your favorite thing about Annie? My favorite thing about Annie is that when you meet her, you'll see why. Because now I get to share that peace. They get to feel your energy. They get to feel your just uplifting spirits. You're just always warm and welcoming. And when they tell me, dang, your wife is so cool, then I say, and that's what I love about her. You just got to experience it for yourself. But I get to experience that every single day, and just the type of person you are and the mom that you are, like, that was one of my biggest things as a young boy was like, I want to marry someone that's going to love my kids. And you do that to the max. And that is something that I thank God every single day for you, that I have this amazing wife that loves our kids truly. And not just because they're here, like you want the best for them. You care about them. That relationship that when our boys see you, they just light up. And they just run to you. And that right there is my success. Like, genuinely, it's not about the business. I don't give a damn. It's about this right here. I've already won because I have you, and I truly mean that. And I want the world to know, like, yeah, we've been through some shit. Everybody always sees us like, man, like, you guys are so awesome. Yeah, but we just had a freaking, a wrestling match this morning, and Annie tried to stab me,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
no, but you
That
know
is
what I'm
not
saying?
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
No.
again, we go through shit, but it's because why we're so great, and I don't mean to freaking just talk us up, but why we're so great is because we choose each other every single day. When shit gets hard and it's like, I don't like you right now, like, I'm gonna go take a break, but even in those moments, I'll always choose you. Like, there's nobody else I want to be with. There's nobody else I want to talk to. And there ain't nobody else that can understand me like you do. So even when all shit hits the fan, I'm always going to run to you and just talk to you and be like, okay, I'm sorry. Can you hug me? Take care of me, please. But just wrapping this all up, say, one of the things that I loved, what I always watch about this one guy, he always interviews people and he says, if you and I were to die tomorrow, what's one piece of advice that you would give to anyone, to the world, to the younger generation, to people watching right now, if you and I were to die tomorrow?
My one piece of advice is to build a relationship with God and with Jesus Christ, and to rely on that when life gets hard. Because the truth is, it will get hard. In whatever way life is thrown at you, But having that peace that comes from knowing whatever you're going through is part of a greater plan that is meant for you, that on the other side, you become a version of yourself that's even better than the person you were before. You're in a refiner's fire, and just trust that whatever you're going through is meant for you to come out a better person who can probably help other people. And I feel like that's just what I've learned over the past 26 years of my life. Trust in God, rely on that relationship, and keep moving forward.
I love when you talk dirty to me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was amazing.
Better quit.
I love you. That is so, you are definitely Christ-like, and you give that, and you
Trying. Always trying to
through
be.
your
I'm not
examples.
perfect. Not perfect.
But that's why. That's exactly why, you depend on Christ, is because we're not perfect, right? That was the reason why he came, and did his atoning sacrifice.
Yep.
Was for the sinners. It wasn't for the perfect people. And guess what? Those people don't exist.
Right.
All right. And so that was such amazing. You are such a big testimony of being Christ-like, and people feel that light of Christ in you and always wonder why. Man, why are you so happy all the time? And it's exactly that. You do have such a strong testimony, and I love you for that.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you so much for, go ahead.
I just want to tell you, like,
this ain't about me, baby.
I know, but you just mean everything to me. And my husband always gives me my flowers, like, I know you always hype me up, but that means so much to me, because that's part of the reason why I can keep going. And I think that's another piece of advice. Marry your best friend and your life will be amazing.
Yep.
So I love you. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for watching this episode of Beyond the Build. Stay tuned for the next one.
Woo, woo, woo. Yes, sir.
What's our exit song? You know what song I always think about?
Get out the way.
Hey, pretty boy coming through. No, this is the song that I always think about when you pull up in your truck and like you come into the job site and all us hardworking men are going, to work.
Mm-hmm.
I just see you coming around the corner, your black truck, the real boss coming in. This is the song that I always think of. Oh no, I think it's
This better be a good song. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right there. That's what I think.
I knew it was Beyonce. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
coming
Hey.
around the corner.
With that Illuminati mess.
Us blue collar men are like, oh shit, the real boss coming. We better, bro, get the shovels.
Givenchy dress.
Hey,
My daddy Alabama, mama Louisiana.
Talk to
You
him.
mix that with that Creole, got that Texas Bama. Hey,
Hey.
see me pulling up in my truck. Nah, I'm like, you guys are doing great. Great job, everyone.
Yep. And that's when I said, hey, give me the broom. The real boss is coming. And then when you leave, I'm like, take this shit back, get to work.
We out.
Hey.
That was crazy. That was crazy. We just said the same thing at the same time.